Folks, it's time for the 2021 Nedbank Desert Dash. It's hard to believe that it's another year that's passed, but we're back in studio and Leander and I are going to take you guys through a quick race briefing. Innovation, always at the top of the list for the Nedbank Desert Dash and for Lima events. So let's talk a little bit about what's new for 2021.
Yeah, hopefully it's been communicated at length, but I think the most important thing for the riders now is that at the start in the Grove, the starting times are the same: 14:30 for the solo riders, 1500 for the two-man teams, and 15:30 for the four-man teams. But what is different this year is that only one per team. So the two-man and the four-man, only one. Your one rider, your strongest rider, or your first rider, departs. So we reduce the number of starters from say 1,000 to 450 or whatever it is. Just to reduce the numbers and obviously reduce the backup vehicles. So the two-man and solo support riders that used to then obviously do the first 100 Ks or parts of it, they will all now, the two-man teams will now depart on the C28.
Right.
So if it's confusing, just read all the information that we send. Read the booklet, yeah.
Very important.
The most important thing, the solo support, the four-person support drivers, they must leave by latest 2 o'clock. Because we want them already at Kuisap an hour or so before any riders could possibly pass. So there's no dust, no nothing. If we find a vehicle of a support driver, and every year, coconuts, 2, 3 or 4 guys, oh, I'm late, I forgot this and that, we will disqualify your team. So make sure you're the support driver, leaves Windhoek at 2 o'clock, so that by the time the race starts, we don't want any vehicles on the route.
I think it's important that people understand that there's a reason you guys are doing this, and that's to make a better experience for all the riders that are out on the route. So there's a bigger picture thinking here, and it's important that everybody just complies with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about safety. Last year, obviously, at race briefing, we talked at length about safety protocols and about how COVID had impacted us. And this year, Nedbank is obviously super serious about the safety of the riders and the safety of the attending staff and the sponsors. Let's talk a little bit about the safety protocols for 2021.
Yeah, we've just sent out a communication. By the time you see this, probably a day or two ago, all riders and all backup drivers need to present us with a negative COVID test at registration. Official cutoff is 1800 on Thursday the 9th.
Okay, so that's an important timeline.
Yeah, that's basically it. So I think that's standard with all big events lately. It's just to ensure that we don't have a spreader event, that we ensure as much as possible that on the day of race start that at least 99% of people don't have COVID.
Right.
And then we could have a safe race.
Yeah, and I think in combination with the reduction of the people in the parking garage, and then obviously pre-event testing, I think it's going to be a super safe event, which is good news for everybody.
Yeah, also compared to last year, last year in December, we had a bit of a spike in this country. So for all our visitors, I think we have on average like 10 cases a day. So we must be one of the least...
Very low.
Least COVID incident rate places on Earth currently. So from that point of view, I think it's safe travels.
Right.
Yeah.
And then at the finish line as well, I know that we're doing staggered prize givings.
Like last year.
Reducing the numbers in the tent. So every effort is being made to keep the riders and obviously the spectators and friends safe.
Yes. It's also part of that COVID communication when the riders go into the chutes at the start of the race. Just wear your mask inside the chute. And then once we go outside the Grove, before we officially start the race, and of course you can take it all down.
Sanitizing points also at all the chutes and at the finish line, etc., etc. So lots of effort being made. There's two subjects that are on everybody's mind. The one is the 60 plus guys, and the other one is the extra 20 Ks.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand. Extra 20 Ks. It might actually be 23 or so. We'll see. But officially 20 Ks extra. It's 10 Ks on stage 3 and 10 Ks on stage 4. Those roads it's awesome scenery. Obviously, most people won't see it. It's at night. But the good thing is there's no more easy stage actually on the dash. Before you said, oh, you take the easy stage, stage 3 or 4, whatever it was. I think they're now all equally challenging. So yes, it will take the average rider at least an hour and a half longer than before. And because the dash from a certain age onwards probably is more of a challenge than for the younger riders, we decided...
People at your and my age.
Almost. From 60 onwards, that everybody that's on the day of the race starts is 60 plus, you get an extra hour. Right. So you have 25 hours, But the cutoff then, so because you start at 2:30, the cutoff then is 3:30
100%.
the next day.
So in that category, that 60 plus category, and again, it's important that it's got to be on the day. So if you're, 59 and a couple of days, we're not interested in having this conversation. You've got to be 60.
Yeah.
In that category alone, 20 odd men and a single woman. Do you want to tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, one woman, Cheryl, we know her, Namibian,
Cheryl,
yeah, 61. Normally you don't want to mention ages, but in a race like this, it's you want your age to be mentioned. And the men, they are 20 above 60, and they're two crazy Germans of 78. Can you imagine?
That's
78
incredible.
years old. It's a Roland Fuchs. He's actually finished solo before.
Okay.
And a colleague of his, I don't have his name yet, but it's two German guys, 78 years old. So whether they make it or not, I mean, just for pitching up, I think is impressive.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool.
Then what else?
So that we've covered the extra distance. Incidentally, we drove that a couple of days ago. So obviously there was a lot of negative publicity on social media, and people were up in arms about this extra piece that you'd put in, and they felt you were spiteful and you were ugly and you know. But the fact has been that a lot of people have tested that stage, and it's actually a really, really nice addition to this year's event.
Yeah, for every one person complaining, there were 10 or so that said, what's the problem, you know?
100%.
And of course, we'll have it graded a few days before, so it's going to be much, much better. And it's at night, you won't see what you're struggling with. So, well, it is what it is. It's big, the bar is getting higher, and it's going to be more and more difficult to obtain that solo finishers medal.
I think the people that watched the online presentation for this year's dash and that heard you speak to the sort of larger public will understand that the race is evolving.
Yeah,
and that it's going to continue to get harder. In fact, the 400 kilometer mark is not far away.
Very close.
And that's how it's going to be.
Yeah, sure.
Is there anything else you wanted to address?
Last thing, Moby Timing. We started it last year. It's called Moby, M-O-B-I-I, Moby. Just go into your app store, download it. You'll see, I think next week the race will be on. Just 2000, or Nedbank Desert Dash 2021. And then you will have different categories. You'll have the solos, the 2-man and the 4-man. You just select it and you put in the name of the rider that you're looking for. And there will be split timing from Kuisip, halfway, and then Juan Contes. So
all the big stops along the way.
Yeah.
And the rider gets an armband, same as last year?
No.
No armbands?
It's a number. It's on your number plate.
Right.
So you just pass by and it gets scanned, and then we can also check where every year some people jump in the car and catch a lift. Extra. Yeah, that will be a bit more difficult now. So we're watching.
Awesome stuff. So. I think the most important for all the crews, particularly the drivers, I think, is make sure that you get your hands on the download version of this. It's going to be on the website.
Yeah.
So electronic version. This will also be in the race packs as always, and make sure that you guys understand the contents of this, because everything you need to know is in the race booklet.
Yeah, and all the rules and regulations, starting times, all of those things will be emailed to all the participants directly anyway.
Awesome.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Good. Then we'll see you guys at registration on Thursday afternoon, 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Thursday afternoon, the day before the race. And make sure you get those COVID tests done. We'll see you guys soon.
Stay healthy.